All right, so good morning, and let's get started. We will just maybe need a couple of blocks, and we'll start sitting in Sukhasana. Blocks. Yawning is squinging too. Anyway, let's use the arms alongside, lifting up. Doing any little shifting and squinging you want. Oh, now that I talked about yawning, there's 4. Nice long exhale out mouth. And then we'll let the hands rest on the knees. Inhale and exhale, pouring down the sides of the neck off the tops of the shoulders. Going up through the center line. Like a fountain going up the center, down the sides. Inhale and exhale. And let's reach out wide through the collarbones, through the fingertips. Inhale and exhale, breathing the arms up. Inhale and exhale, breathing them down. Let's do that 3 more times. And then changing the cross of the legs. Coming forward and over, breathing along the back of the body. Even though we're not moving our arms, reaching them wide to the side like we just were, maybe still feel that lateral expansion on the inhale. And then exhale, expanding and drawing into the center again. And making your way up to sitting and rolling yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. Sides pouring down, center line extending up. then let's make our way to downward facing dog. So that means though, maybe you're going to go right up to downward facing dog. You could take a little forward bend, extend with the legs. You could briefly do that little press back that we do on all fours if you wanted. So you can take your own journey to downward facing dog as desired, and eventually we'll all meet up there. And if you're already up here in the downward facing dog, connecting your breath into this shape, feeling this with your breath, feeling how your body is this morning, walking the dog or anything else you want to do. And then here we are in our best downward facing dog of this moment, nothing moving but the breath. Coming down, sitting back to child's pose. And then come forward onto your stomach into the Sphinx. Side, back, center line, forward. Once again, just like we were sitting in Sukhasana. And yet, not just like when you're sitting in Sukhasana, we have a different physical shape, so it feels a little bit. And then moving your hands forward any amount so that you can get the arms straight or mostly straight without the shoulders going up into the ears. A nice spacious cobra here. And inhaling up the front, exhale, pouring down the back. And coming down, pulling the elbows in and up and back into the small cobra position, all drawn in. And then lengthening up into small cobra here, maybe using more upper back and middle back muscles than arm push. And breathing. And lengthening down. Hands out wide across from the shoulders on the pads of the fingers. The giant bug cobra will ripple up and down 3 times, letting the chin drop, rippling up, pulling the elbows wide, reaching forward and down through the collarbones. Twice more. And then we'll come up once again. So you can lengthen up if you want, or do the ripple up and drop the chin. And then really pull the elbows wide, let them bend. And hold and breathe here. And come down. Deep breath, forehead or chin on the hands. And then making your way back up to downward facing dog, maybe a little cat cow rippling along the way. And here we all are, downward facing dog. You can hold and breathe here, maybe going through the vinyasa, any version you want. Moving forward to the plank. So holding the plank could be a version of the vinyasa. And then we'll all move back up and downward facing dog. And let's lift the right leg up, reaching down through the left heel. And through to the lunge. And then bring that left knee down. We're going to keep the left hand on the floor and take a twist to the right. And then a big circle around with the right arm, reaching it behind, down and forward, up and open again. And then bringing the right arm down, and we'll pick up the left into Anjayasana, the kneeling line. And Namaste in front. Stepping forward into the concave back, halfway up, folding over. Couple breaths here, drawing up through the legs, pouring down through the top of the head. And then concave back, lengthening out, and folding over a little bit more. Take another breath here. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. Pressing the arms down long through the top of the head. Circle the shoulders, 3, 2, and 1. Other direction. And then once more, front to the back, interlocking the fingers, lengthening up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin. And coming forward and over, pressing out through the hands. Releasing the hands, concave back, inhale and exhale through the vinyasa, any version, downward facing dog. And then here we go with our left leg, lifting the left leg up, reaching long. And bending the left knee, dog at the high fire hydrant. And through to the lunge. And let's bring that right knee down. Right hand stays on the floor. As we twist to the left, really sinking into the front of the right hip joint. Also sinking into the fold of the left hip joint. And the circle around, reaching back, big range of motion. And then we're back up in the twist. Pause a moment there. And reaching that left arm around, it kicks up the right, and we come up in Anjayasana. Namaste. And stepping forward into the concave back, folding over. Taking a few breaths here. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. Maybe a circle around with both arms this time. Pressing the arms down, long through the top of the head. And just one circle back with the shoulders to interlock the fingers, lengthening up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin. And coming forward. Release the hands. Concave back, folding over through the vinyasa, downward facing dog. And let's lift our right leg up. Through to the lunge. Coming up in the warrior number one, or it could be the high lunge. And then coming down, we're going to do the pass off, stepping back to downward facing dog. Lifting up the left leg. And through to the lunge. Coming up in the warrior number one on the left or the high lunge. Every breath and action through the body. And coming down. And once more, stepping back to downward facing dog. Let's lift our right leg up. And we'll do 3 hover planks or number of your choice. Inhale and exhale, knee forward. Inhale to lift, twice more. And then we'll hover plank to the shin lunge, sliding out along the shin. Keeping that left leg really straight. Pressing back through the left heel, pressing the back of the left leg up. And here we are, breathing. Then off onto the right hip into the half dragonfly. I think some of you have seen this sort of pattern a couple of times in the past few weeks. Anyway, here we are, half dragonfly. Bent right leg, straight left leg. Let's come forward between the 2 legs. And we'll take a twist to the right, toward the front of the mat, toward the bent leg. Inhale and exhale. As so often we do, headed for our Pavruta Janu Shivasana. Left hand on the left leg, reaching out with the right arm, reaching up, reaching over. Then we're going to come up, fingertips to the floor from the wide collarbones, like when we're sitting in Sukhasana, and we'll waft back and forth. Inhale and exhale, side bending over the left leg, pause, suspend, and lifting back up through the top of the head twice more. And once more. And here we are. Take a little pull from the right knee out the left heel, long through the top of the head. And then we'll just bring that left leg around, coming up into the forward bend at the front of the mat. And the concave back, inhale and exhale. Stepping back with the left leg. And we'll come up into warrior number 2 on the right. That can be aligned with that right knee. And then over into the triangle, pulling up through the right leg out the left fingertips, reaching long through the top of the head. And reaching down with that left arm. Let's step forward again into the concave back. And then we'll step back with the right leg. We're going to do the same thing on the left, coming up in the warrior 2 on the left. Inner thigh to inner thigh, pulling, sitting bones trying to go down. And that energy actively flowing through the pose, even though we're holding relatively still. And then into the triangle, pulling up the left leg and out the right fingertips, reaching long through the top of the head. Here too, we don't become static. Stillness and staticness, no, staticness is a word, not necessarily the same things. We can be still and quiet, but we're still breathing. We're still renewing our presence, renewing the pose. And come back down to the lunge, stepping forward. Into the concave back, folding over. And then through the vinyasa inversion, downward facing dog. Bring deep breaths here and downward facing dog in this moment. Coming down, sitting back in child's pose. And let's slide forward onto our stomach into the Sphinx. Pouring up through the center line, pouring down and back through the side. And then adjusting your hands as needed to straighten the arms. Keeping the shoulders rolling down into the back, not up to the ears. And coming down, pulling those elbows back and up into the small cobra. Lengthening here, pulling the elbows back. And up and down. And then hands wide across from the shoulders on the pads of fingers, the giant bug. 3 giant bug ripples, letting the chin drop on your way up. And then pulling the elbows wide, pulling the collarbones forward on the way down, twice more. And then coming up once more in the giant bug. So your arms may straighten here, but we don't want them to be straight. Pulling them wide, elbows reach out and have a little feeling of press forward, even as we try to keep the shoulder blades pressing back and holding here. And coming down. Bring the hands in, forehead or chin on the hands for a few breaths. And making our way back up to downward facing dog. And once you're there, you can go through the vinyasa or not. And then we'll go around left, right, left. And let's lift our left leg up. And through to the lunge. Coming up in the warrior number 1 or maybe the high. And counting down, stepping back up to downward facing dog, passing off to the right leg that lifts up. And through to the lunge. Warrior number one on the right. And counting down, stepping back, lifting that left leg up. And then we'll do our 3 hover planks. Inhale and exhale, knee forward. Inhale to lift twice more. And then one more hover plank that brings us into the shin lunge. And as much as you can, that left sitting bone goes down, but keep the right leg straight. It's a lot of work for the right leg. Also makes a lot of stretch down the front of the right hip. And sinking down to roll onto the left hip and into the half dragonfly. Left leg bent, right leg straight. Coming forward between both legs. Sometimes this feels like a really interesting and good stretch to me, this forward here. Sometimes it feels like nothing. I don't know what your experience is. And then back up. And we will twist to the left toward the front of the mat and inhale and exhale. And right hand onto the right leg. And reaching out with the left arm. Reaching up and over. Parvrita Janu Shirsasana. And coming back up to sitting, reaching wide through the collarbones and fingertips, fountaining up through the center of the body, down the sides, and we'll waft back and forth 3 times. Inhale and exhale, side bend over that right leg, pause, suspend, and then a big lift up. Let's do that twice more. And here we are. Just pause a minute, really reach from the left knee out the right heel. And then bringing the right leg around, forward bend at the front of the mat.
And as we do our stepping back and into the warrior two, this time if you want to do Ardha Chandrasana instead of the triangle, you could do that. So if you think you might want blocks for your Ardha Chandrasana, just having them there. All right, here we are in our forward bend. Let's take a little concave back again. Inhale and exhale to step back with the right leg. Warrior two on the left. Kind of like what we were just doing in the half dragonfly, the standing up version. Sitting bones down, but maybe you can find that fountaining here too, up the center line, down and out the sides. And then we'll reach with the left arm as we straighten the left leg, and then you can reach out more and come up in Ardha Chandrasana, or into the triangle, or some combination of the two. If you're up in Ardha Chandrasana, you can just step down to the forward bend. Or if you're in the triangle, lunging and stepping forward. And then here we are back in Uttanasana. Deep breath. A little concave back, inhale and exhale. Stepping back with the left leg. Coming up in the warrior two on the right. Moving bones down, fountaining up, maybe up the center, wide and down the sides. And then we'll reach with the right arm as the right leg starts to straighten, maybe shifting it up to Ardha Chandrasana or going to the triangle. If you're up in the Ardha Chandrasana, you can just step down into the forward bend or coming to the lunge and stepping forward. Here we all are back in Uttanasana. Breathing. And let's come all the way up to standing. Big front body yawn. And around to Namaste. Namaste, spin. And then coming back. Big lift up. And diving. Concave back, folding over. And jumping or stepping back through the vinyasa, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here in this downward facing dog. Coming down, sitting back in child's pose. And then once again, out onto our stomach into the Sphinx. And then we will squinch. So feeling like you're trying to tuck the tailbone as you pull the elbows and knees toward each other and lift up, thinking cat back, even though it's probably not really a cat back. And hold and breathe here. 3, 2, 1. Lengthening back out. So remember, this is the thing that's up to you to do the work. Let's do that twice more. Squinching up and 3, 2, 1, up. And lengthening out. And then once more. And lengthening back out to that Sphinx. And then to the straightened arms, adjusting the hands as needed. And we'll do a little half circle with the head. Drop the chin down, rolling the head to the right, swooping down and forward, rolling to the left. 2 more sets. And to the right. And to the left. And once more each side. And to the center, lift the head up again. Down. Let's pause a moment here. And pulling the arms back into the small cobra position. And this time as we lift up, we're going to lift one leg along with it. So lengthening to lift right leg. And 3, 2, 1. Lengthen down. And then left leg. Lengthen to lift left. And 3, 2, 1. Lengthen down. Let's do that 2 more sets. We'll just hold 1 breath as we lift. Lengthening up. Hold the breath. Lengthening down. And then the left. And lengthening down. And right. And left. All right, another little pause maybe. I'm going to get to the giant bug variations. All right. And there we are, pads of the fingers, or it could be flat hands if that on the pads of the fingers is getting a little difficult. And we'll just drop the chin, roll up, give the elbows a little pull. And then we're going to twist, dipping the left shoulder forward, pulling the right shoulder up, twisting right, and lift, and right shoulder down, pulling the left up, twisting left and lift. And then 3 times. Inhale and exhale to twist. Inhale to lift, exhale and twist. You could be working with different timing there. Let's see, I did say 3 times, so we have to go once more. Maybe all the way down to the floor this last time. Ah. And then calm down, forehead or chin on the hands. And let's heel ourselves up off the floor. Couple cat-cow ripples. All right, and then we will go to either Gomukhasana or shape of your choice. So let's do the Gomukhasana here from the all fours. It's a way to get more deeply into it, but also if you're going to try this version, be careful because you don't want to wrench your knees too far. Okay, so here we are on all fours. I'm going to be the right-left mirror. All right, let me have brain come together for a moment. All right, we're going to take our left leg and cross it behind the right. Give the shins and the feet a little wing out. So you make that space back there. Sit down between the feet and go across the knot. Again, be careful though, because that can put a lot of pressure on the knees if your body's not quite ready to get here. All right, so you could be in Matsayendrasana, standing on the right foot, or you could be in the cross legs, or anything else. And here we are somewhere. Up the center line, down the sides. And we'll go Gurudasana, eagle pose the arms, reaching the arms wide, and let's cross the right arm under, left arm over. And then lengthen up and coming forward and over, however that works with whatever position your legs are in. And then releasing the arms. And coming up. And we'll disentangle the legs. So if you're doing the all fours version, coming back onto all fours. And then we're going to take the right leg and cross it behind the left. And then you wing the feet and shins out there. And sitting. And then you should have the left leg, or at least the other leg, on top. All right, so getting settled in your sitting position. And then reaching wide through the arms. Left arm coming under in the eagle pose.
reach up, and then coming forward. And releasing the arms. Yep. Oh, and let's disentangle those legs, sliding straight out in front, and we'll come forward in Dandasana, opening up the backs of the legs, or just realize my body wants to Konasana instead. You could do that for another option. The main point after Gomukhasana is getting the back of that knee joint lengthened out. Either one of these shapes does that. So if you feel like you want a little more inner thigh extension, go into Konasana. And then come up, bring those legs in, and we will roll ourselves down to the floor. And then getting your block, and we'll do a short block under the sacrum. Lifting up, sliding that block under, sliding the legs out straight. And you can cooperate to whatever degree you want with the block, or maybe being more passive and just draping yourself over the block. And then making your way off the block and into Shavasana. You would give the knees a pull into the chest, a little side to side. If you do that, we'll release in the lower back. And here we are, letting go. Inhale, exhale. And breathing back into your body, into the room. Moving the fingers and toes, circling the wrists and ankles. Stretching the arms up overhead. Bending knees. And then gently making your way up to sitting. And sitting in any comfortable position with the long spine. Taking a few more moments sitting quietly inside yourself. Namaste. Thank you for coming.